Hello friends of WildRift and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. Today we're going to look at the patch 4.0 and we have some pretty hefty changes. But before we hop into it, let's talk about a question of the day. What are you expecting for this patch? Type down any kind of expectations you have and just leave them down in the comments below. But now, let's go over to the patch. Happy Lunar Year and welcome to the first patch of 2023. We are back with a new patch and new patch notes with the same old dad jokes you know and love. If mischief, mayhem and magic were part of your New Year's resolutions, Zoe's making her debut and you can lend a hand with that. Steal spells and snipe your foes with sparkle and glitter when this mid lane mage portals into your game. We're big Zoe fans here, so we sure hope she wins. Whether you like to fight for honor and glory or you live to the thrill of putting yourself in grave danger, Ranked Season 8 and a new Wild Pass should help you get your fill. And of course, what's a celebration without some fireworks? We're bringing back all random ultra rapid fire mode and decking out the Rift with lanterns, fireworks and special sleigh effect, and of course, a Lunar New Year themed cannon. You'll also be able to gather your friends together to prepare cozy dishes in our Lunar Fest event and visit Caitlin in the Mythmaker workshop. And of course, you can't have patch notes without some balance changes. We also have our update for our tanky friends. To see what other content is still coming throughout this patch cycle, check out the latest patch review. Also, as a side note, you can expect the changes to turrets and inhibitors of one of the balance patches coming in the following weeks. From Riot and from everyone here at RiftGuides, aka Winde and me, we wish you a happy Lunar Year again and we hope for a great 2023 and enjoy hopping into some games with friends and family, and we'll see you all on the Rift. Now, let's hop into the balance changes, new champions and everything there is to find in patch 4.0. We all know that we'll get 2 new champions rather soon, but with this patch, we'll get Zoe, the aspect of Twilight. As the embodiment of mischief, imagination and change, Zoe acts as the cosmic messenger of Targon, heralding major events that reshape worlds. Her mere presence warps the arcane mathematics governing realities, sometimes causing cataclysms without conscious effort or malice. This perhaps explains the breezy nonchalance with which Zoe approaches her duties, giving her plenty of time to focus on playing games, tricking mortals, or otherwise amusing herself. An encounter with Zoe can be joyous and life-affirming, but it's also more than it appears and often extremely dangerous. So check out this lovely mid lane mage, which will be absolutely powerful with the sudden impact and void stuff combination. She also releases instantaneously upon the patch drop, so get ready to get her. With a new patch, also teased in the introductory statement of this patch, we'll get a new Wild Pass. And this time, we'll get Super Villain Graves. And obviously, you can also get the Ascended Super Villain Graves as you complete the missions throughout the Wild Pass existence. Also drop at the opening of this patch. A new thing we have to talk about is the Ranked Season 8, and Ranked Season 8 will open up on January the 16th at 7 PM PST. And for this season, we'll get the lovely, glorious Crimson Nami skin, and she'll be making some splashes in this season's reward tab. Ever wondered if you're the best in your friends group when it comes to a specific role? Then no problem, because now we have role leaderboards and role scores for your friend list. For example, are you a better support player than your bestie? Now you can actually prove it, because there's a role leaderboard where you can check up with your friends who is the best player. And for those who dream even bigger, the best of every server will be receiving a special title. Sounds lovely? And get into grinding. For those who own the Xbox Game Pass, you'll get 20% bonus XP and some other benefits in WildRift and all champions unlocked within WildRift, so you should check it out and just give it a look. Maybe something is in it that's worth for you to get this pass. There's also a little ETC update for devices, and if you're impacted by this, you'll receive an email. Accompanying Ultra Rapid Fire in this patch, we get some new mechanic called Execute Smite. During all random Ultra Rapid Fire, we're introducing a new mechanic called Execute Smite. It will function passively for junglers and free up a spell slot. This version of Smite retains the core Smite's passive, but does not upgrade to Chilling Smite and has no cooldown. We'll be keeping an eye out on how this performs for possible future use. Now let's talk about how to use this spell and what it does. If you reduce an epic monster health to 800 or below, or a large monster to 400 health and below, you execute the monster and restore 8% of your maximum health. As a side note, this does not trigger from damage over time effects. Also, something worthy of note is called Jungle Expertise. You gain 20% bonus gold and 20% bonus experience from jungle monsters, but temporarily earn 60% less gold and experience from normal minions. However, you have 15% bonus attack damage and 30% bonus ability damage against jungle monsters. You also restore 40 health over 5 seconds while in combat with jungle monsters, and 4 mana every second while you're in the jungle or river. Oh man, like the next part is about the gacha gaming, and many people hate or love it. It's something you just need to figure out for yourself if you really like it, but it's always kind of a bit weird to buy something and you don't really know what you'll be getting back. But here we have the Mythmaker Workshop. It's time to get crafty in the Lunar Paper Cutting Workshop with Caitlyn. We mentioned in the latest WildRift news that the Mythmaker Paper Shop or Workshop would be making its debut with this patch, but we want to recap it here in the patch notes as well. Get your scissors ready to snip out and fold lunar paper cuttings with Caitlyn and earn skins, rewards and other goodies. In the Mythmaker Workshop, you'll be able to buy scissors for 400 wild cores, convert them to paper cuttings, and redeem items with your paper cuttings as well. For reference, one of the skins you can earn is the special edition Mythmaker Caitlyn. You will earn her by opening 15 boxes, or aka scissors, or by earning 92 paper cuttings. Now that we got everything systematic out of the way, we talk about champion changes, and we have Camille. Camille has always been in a tough spot with a kit that has been both a boon and a curse. In the right hands, Camille is a terror with little counterplay, but for the newer players her mechanics can be very much daunting. We want to lower both her skill floor and ceiling, which will make her more approachable for players aspiring to master this precise Baron laner while keeping her in check for the best of the very best. Those changes are a change to her first ability Precision Protocol. After 1.6 seconds of the first empowered attack, Precision Protocol automatically empowers another basic attack, converting the bonus damage to true damage. The bonus movement speed is changed to 25% at all times without any level dependency. The bonus movement speed duration is also increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. A change to her second ability is that Camille's bonus damage now applies to the entire area of effect than just the outer half. But on the other hand, the sweet spot here will still slow the enemy, which is the big advantage, and heal her for 50% of the damage dealt. The third change comes to her hookshot ability. If Camille misses the initial hook cast, it is placed on a 3-second cooldown instead of its full cooldown. If you recast it, Camille detaches from the terrain and dashes into the target direction, dealing physical damage to nearby enemies on arrival. If she's an enemy champion, she stuns him for 0.75 seconds and gains bonus attack speed for 5 seconds. A new change is upon casting Hookshot, Camille's next basic attack against enemy champions within 3 seconds grants bonus attack speed for 5 seconds. Let's get a few things straight. This isn't an adjustment, this is a straight up buff for Camille on every possible level. It removes most of the skill dependencies that made the champion very strong in certain regards, and just makes it so much easier to pilot her throughout the laning phase or the game itself. So saying that this is an adjustment is honestly just a straight up lie. It's a major buff for this champion, and it's going to be wild for the Baron later, so good luck or difference, you'll absolutely need it. The next change comes to Corki. This is something that a lot of people don't talk enough about. A lot of champions lose damage if they start using spells in the later stages of the game unless they can hit multiple people with it. And in order to improve that, for Corki, they improved the Phosphorus Bomb's cast time, scaling with attack speed now. A change for Aurelia is that her first ability doesn't follow blink effects anymore, so you can actually flash away from Aurelia without getting yourself killed and looking very dumb at the same process. Another change comes to Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix has his first ability's cooldown, the isolation bonus from Taste Their Fear, changed from 45% to only 30% cooldown refund, which if you think about it, is just basically adjusting it to its former value because they buffed its late game cooldown and nerfed its early game cooldown before, which I think roughly gets into the same territory. So is it going to be enough in terms of a nerf? I just don't really think so. I don't think it will be actually too bad for this champion, let's be honest. A change that we have to talk about is Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa is underperforming compared to other Dragon Lane champions. So to keep her up to her peers, they're changing something with the base stats, her first ability and second ability. So let's talk about it. Kai'Sa's attack damage goes up from 58 to 62. Her attack damage per level goes up from 2.65 to 3, which means on the highest level, on level 15, it goes up from 99 to 104. The first ability's attack damage ratio goes up from 45% to 50%, and the second ability, Voidseeker's cast time, goes down from 0.34 to 0.34 to up to 0.227, scaling with attack speed. Another nerf which is mandatory is a nerf to Lilia, but I think this is not going to be enough, but let's talk about it because base nerfs are always quite nice. Lilia's base stats in the form of health per level go down from 112 to 104. Also, first ability's base damage is also slightly changed, but only for the later stages of the game and for the monster modification mod. It goes down from 130% to 110%, and the late game damage from 95 to 80. For Misfortune, we are going to see something very weird for the most people we can talk about. Misfortune is getting an AP buff. Her total AP ratios on her third ability and fourth ability go up very highly, and the question is, what do they want to try and push here? Do we want the Pokemon from League PC with Oleandri's build, or what is the idea here, just to broadening up some level of play? I'm curious to see what happens with this champion, but a lot of people will be very unhappy with this. The next change comes to Renekton, who has been buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed again. And this time his first ability's cooldown from Call of the Meek goes down from 8 seconds to 7 seconds, and the base heal goes up by 1 per target hit. For Samira, we also have a slight change. Her first ability, Flash base damage, goes up from 5 to 10, which is basically just 5 on every level. For Shen, we have a pretty, probably okay nerf, but let's be honest, it's probably not going to do too much for this champion, but Shen Jungle was quite a wild ride if played properly. His first ability, Twilight's Assault, is the biggest issue when it comes to jungle clearing because it's very much overtuned. To combat that, the bonus damage to monsters goes down from 200% to 150%, and the bonus monster damage cap goes down from 250 to 225. For his jungle clear, I think he'll probably spend like 1 to 2 more auto attacks with this empowered ability, but that's not going to be too much of a change, I assume, if people learn to properly abuse his first ability and the tricks that come with it. The next change comes to our lovely dragon lady Shyvana. Shyvana's base stats go up in the form of health from 105 to 112 per level, and changes to Twin Bites are happening. Her cooldown on Twin Bites goes down from 9 seconds to 8.5 seconds, which is a 0.5 cooldown reduction change, and the evolved Twin Bite slow goes up from 40% to 50%. Another change comes to Mr. Singe the Flipper. We love the Flipper, but the Flipper has always been a problematic pick because, well, people just run after him and die to his poison trail. Sounds dumb, but it's reality of things. So we see some changes to his first ability Poison Trail and Insanity Potion. Let's talk about them. Poison Trail's mana cost per second goes down from 15 to 12 per second, and the ability ratio goes up from 30% to 35%. For his ultimate Insanity Potion, the health and mana recovery per second goes up at the later stages of the game. Previously it's 6, 11 and 16, and later it's going to be 6, 13 and 20 with 4.0 dropping. Next up comes the second best winner for this patch, and it's Scion. Glory in Death is his passive ability, and the bonus health per large unit kill goes up from 15 to 20. First ability, Decimating Smash. The minimum base damage goes up from 25 level 1 to 40, but the overall highest damage amount isn't changed. For his third ability, Roar of the Slayer, that slow goes up from 40% to 50% on level 1, and later on it's just a 10% increase compared to before. With the balance changes out of the way, let's talk about items. We all love new items, and we got new items, or changes to items at least. But let's start with Dawn Shroud, a new item. Are you a tanky support that's just tired of rushing movement speed? Do you prefer combat presence over map rotations? Then today is the dawn of a new day and new item for you. Dawn Shroud provides an area of effect damage and reveals whether you're immobilized an enemy, champion, or tank an immobilized effect for your team. The item is 2,700 gold, has 250 health, 50 armor, and 30 magic resist, and a new passive called Dawnbringer. When you immobilize a champion or are immobilized, damage and reveal all nearby enemy champions for 3 seconds, dealing 80 plus 5% bonus health as magic damage. And that's on a 3-second cooldown. Sounds interesting, and every Akali main out there is already shivering in their boots. You will be revealed, you will be killed, and even if you ban Karma, it doesn't matter anymore because this item will catch you off guard. We all hate Akali players. We are also getting a reworked Randon's Omen. Need more anti-crit in your life? Then how about a crit item that heals back life? While the numbers on the Determination passive may seem underwhelming compared to its previous iteration, the keyword here is pre-mitigation. In practice, tanks will fare far better against critical damage as long as they're on the defensive. And with the new Randon's Omen, you're filled with determination. Nice meme, Riot Games, nice joke in the patch notes. Now let's talk about the passive and the item itself. It's 2800 gold as before, 400 health and 55 armor, but it has a new passive. For the old one, it's Cold Steel. Reduce the attack speed of enemies by 15% when struck by an enemy attack for 1.5 seconds. The new one is called Determination, as you've already previously noticed, and it's the following. When you are critically struck, gain 12% for melee, 8% for ranged of the pre-mitigation damage taken as charges of Determination for 5 seconds. Up to a maximum of 500 charges. When you attack a champion, consume your Determination to heal for the amount consumed. Quite interesting if you're able to consistently stick to enemies. This might heal you up for quite a lot, but is it going to be enough? We'll see, because those items will probably be adjusted in the upcoming patch anyway. Another rework comes from Frozen Heart. 2700 gold, 80 armor, 200 mana and 25 ability haste, but a new passive. Winter's Caress. Basic attacks and magic damage caused by you inflicted upon you will apply stacks of chill to the enemy champion for 3 seconds. Each stack of chill slows an enemy attack speed by 9% up to a maximum of 4 stacks and therefore 36% attack speed. Each individual ability has a 1-second cooldown on applying Winter's Caress per target. Also, don't forget as a note, numbers for this patch might be a little bit different because of localization issues and bugs in-game, so keep your eyes peeled and look out for the real numbers. Next to those big reworks, changes and new items, we also got slight adjustments. For example, Cosmic Drive. The total cost of the item from 2900 gold goes down to 2800 gold and the ability power from 70 to 75. We also get another follow Dominic's Regards. The total gold cost goes up from 3100 gold to 3200 gold. The change for Morellonomicon is in the form of ability power. It goes down from 75 to 70. A buff to Mortal Reminder comes also in the form of gold, 3100 gold down to 3000 gold. But the biggest winner for items, apart from the newly released items and reworked items of course, is Spirit Visage. Passive. Increases heals on yourself by 30% was in the past. Now it increases heals and shields on yourself by 30%. So if I understand correctly, if a Lux shields you with a Protect enchant, your HP bar will be triple that of your normal HP bar. Obviously that's not how math works, but you get the idea what happens with this item. The next changes are for runes, and here we have Inspiration Tree Pathfinder. Bonus movement speed in the river goes up from 20 to 30, and the bonus movement speed in the river after leaving combat is up from 10 to 20. The biggest winner for runes, however, is Inspiration Phase Rush. The ability haste granted works for all abilities was in the past, but now it only works for basic abilities. However, the ability haste after proccing it is not only 10 anymore, but 25. So this might be very insane, especially if you consider the early stages of the game, where this cooldown reduction might be the difference between life and death very easily. Last but not least, we have something about damage versus structures. Previously, any situation in which a champion gets both bonus attack damage and ability power results in them losing the value of the lower stat when hitting structures. This is because of a specific rule involved in structure damage calculation. We're changing that way that offensive stats interact with structures so that hybrid builds and situations involving dual stats or bonuses no longer punish you for having both attack damage and ability power. And that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, because this was a long one because a lot of things happened and changed, but I hope you bore with me and you enjoyed the video as it was. Click the like button, click subscribe button, come back for more content because 4.0 is going to be big and we'll be talking about many things, showcase many things, and we'll even stream more, so come back and enjoy some company. See you soon, gamers.